This is Matt with Serra Acura, and it's time that we finally take this bad boy for a spin. Let's go check it out.
This is Matt with Serra Acura, and this is really one of the first times I've been able to drive this vehicle. I took it out to get gas the other day. That was pretty much it. And we've also had some pretty bad weather. So as you can tell by the video, we still have a little bit of snow on the ground, and we've had a lot of rain, lots of rain today. But I'm gonna give you a little bit of a driving impression now. Obviously air ride suspension, things like that, changing the different dynamic modes, all will kind of make the car feel a little bit different. So we'll put it in sport mode. We'll take it for a little spin first, just down the road, just to kind of get a feel for the car. You know, obviously there's a lot of things that feel just like how an MDX feels in terms of its responsiveness. I do notice a little bit of difference in handling. It feels a little tighter in terms of how the suspension feels as it kind of going side to side down the road here. We have it at just up at 33 miles an hour right now. We're heading down one of the side roads here, but yeah, I have it in sport right now, and the car definitely wants to go. We'll go ahead and turn it to we'll try normal, and then there's the comfort mode, which each mode's going to change again. And just a little bit of that driving feel, the steering feel, throttle response, gear ratio, how the car responds when you put your foot on the gas. So we're going to turn around down here, and we'll try to do a quick little 0 to 60, if this car will let me. And the new MDX in general, that new platform that they built this car on, is a home run. It really feels really nice in terms of its handling and its ride quality. Something that I thought that the previous MDX, the previous generation MDX, needed to do a little bit better job of. But yeah, and here we are. So we're going to go ahead and put it in sport mode here. As the idle stop kicks back on here, but I'm gonna do a 0 to, I'll try to get up to 60 here, but I'll start from a stop. I'll put my foot on the brake here, and then we'll punch it. Okay, this car wants to run. Get up to 60. Yeah, 60. Okay. Woo! That was for an SUV of this size, that type of power. You know, I haven't driven a lot of different SUVs out there, but it definitely accelerates very nicely. It feels very smooth. That 10-speed automatic, which is a little bit bolstered for the Type S, feels amazing. I was so happy that they put that 10-speed automatic in the rest of our lineup. It really started with the RLX. The 10-speed automatic was in that vehicle, and it really made a huge difference in terms of the acceleration of the vehicle, in terms of the shifting. I know that was something that the previous generation MDX kind of struggled with. You know, it had that 9-speed ZF automatic, which a lot of people didn't like, but this 10-speed that Honda built, it really is a winner. It feels really nice. It shifts smoothly, it shifts quickly, and it does a really good job of going through the gears. And I'm someone who would like to drive the car in sport mode primarily. know if you guys can hear that. You know, what I would say to the people that don't like the exhaust sound, I did just take a video of the exhaust on the outside. It's a little hard to hear with, you know, there's water on the road right now, but you know, here's what's interesting is Acura with the A-Spec, Acura, basically what they did was they wanted the interior occupants to hear the sound of the engine, not so much the outside. It sounds a little bit different than the TLX Type S. Punch again. All right, there we go. But the TLX, it has the sound in the outside. I think they were really trying to make this car still have that family feel. You know, I've read a lot of stuff online about the exhaust is weak. The exhaust is weak. I mean, at the end of the day, who cares? I mean, do you really need something that's going to sound like it's going to just like blow down your neighbor's front doors? I don't think so. This car still wanted to retain some of that. Wanted to retain some of that family feel. I know it's a performance-oriented MDX, but this car's extremely well equipped for a family. And again, that's what Type S is with Acura. You know, if you were talking about Type R with Honda and Acura, that's a whole separate subject in terms of performance. But Type S's have always been all about having that cross between the performance and the luxury. So this car has, you know, second row heated seats. It has obviously cooled seats. It also has the massaging seats. So I think at the end of the day, when you drive a car like this, yeah, you want the performance. Do you want to hear it a little bit? Sure. But at the same time, you still want it to be a comfortable car. And I think this car does a phenomenal job at that price point. Again, this car is $73,000, which sounds like a lot, but a lot of cars that have that similar type of power, the type of performance and the luxury that this car has, all the amenities, you would have a very difficult time, in my opinion, finding a vehicle that would be similar to that. So we'll go ahead and give it one more quick acceleration here. I don't like beating the cars up too much. They're not mine. At the end of the day, I want to make sure, I know people are, you know, want my reaction a little bit. It's a quick car. I've driven faster cars for sure, but is it fun and fast to drive? Absolutely. Oh, that turbo kicks on and it just punches. But yeah, so, you know, if you want something that's going to be fun to drive, that's an SUV, you know, I definitely think that the MDX does a phenomenal job, the MDX Type S. Now, obviously, you have the two different versions of the Type S. This one is the advanced version of the vehicle, which comes with all sorts of incredible features, which in my last video, we talked a lot about what features it does have and doesn't have. But I think if you're looking for something that, you know, obviously $70,000 is a lot of money. It opens up the world to a lot of different vehicles out there. But if you want to stay in that kind of luxury class with a vehicle and you want to have something that also performs well, you know, cars that are similar to this are going to be like the Audi Q8, the S version of that vehicle. And then I'm trying to think if there's anything else out there. I know, you know, there's lots of other comparisons, but at the same time, you're going to be spending a lot more money. And if you want that type of performance out of a vehicle, and you want the amenities that an Acura offers, along with the fact that obviously Acura offers a car that's going to be, you know, relatively inexpensive to maintain and fix. But so my driving impressions are great. The MDX that came out recently, I think the driving on that vehicle was a huge difference in terms of how it felt, its road manners. Obviously, they extended the wheelbase a little bit on that vehicle, the quietness of the cabin. You know, this car is incredibly quiet. And even when I accelerate, and I don't know if you're going to be able to hear it on the video or not until I go back and watch this, but to me, it sounds like it's a fun car to drive. You know, when you accelerate, you can hear the engine. When you, you know, on the outside, I don't know if it's so much. When Acura did the A-Spec, it was all about the interior. In fact, if you opened the windows of an A-Spec and you accelerated, you wouldn't hear very much. Most of that came from inside the vehicle. But again, my driving impressions are this car handles incredibly. I'm someone who drives in sport mode. Normal mode felt just fine too. But again, I definitely feel like this car has enough power for bang for the buck. Could it have been closer to 400? You know, maybe, but I don't think they were trying to, you know, blow the doors off of this vehicle. Acura really wanted to focus on making sure people had a car that performed better than the regular MDX, that looked a little bit different, a little bit better, stood out in a different way, but gave you some incredible amenities. Again, the advanced package MDX, obviously it has all the features of an advanced package, but this car has features that are above and beyond that, like the 25 speakers in here, like the massaging seats, the air ride suspension, which is true for both the Type S versions of the MDX. So all those little things kind of make a huge difference when you're looking at that price point and you say, wow, look at all the things I can get. I'm sure with similar brands, you know, whether it be Lexus or if you're looking at Mercedes, you're probably looking at a price tag that's up over $100,000. And I know, you know, some of our Canadian friends that, you know, comment on some of our videos, they are saying that this car, and I didn't realize this, that this car can get upwards of $100,000 in terms of what it looks like Canadian money. You know, obviously that's a lot. Now, I don't know how pricing works up there. So in other words, maybe a competitor car is going to be 150,000 as opposed to just 100,000. But yeah, the car accelerates incredibly. I did the 0 to 60. Hopefully you guys had an idea as to what that felt like. I don't know if any of my reactions were worth, you know, what that looks like. But again, it's still an SUV. It's a 7-passenger SUV that has 355 horsepower. But what I will say, if you want a fun car to drive, you know, not just something that's going to, you know, tool around on a day-to-day driving, but if you want something that's a little bit more exciting to drive and you have that performance and the handling of an MDX, this is the car for you. Now, I love this car. I love the color that we have. We have that Apex Blue Pearl. This car is a demo, so if you do want to check out this car, by the way, it's actually, well, it's here at our dealership. It is available for test drives. It's available to check out. You know, we're not going to sell this car until our time limit's up, which I know there's been some kind of gray area on that. We've had, you know, originally it was kind of 90 days, but again, we're going to hold on to this car until Acura says that we have to sell it, and that's how it's going to be. Now, this car will be at the Cleveland Auto Show, so obviously with the auto shows coming up, I don't think the Chicago Auto Show had just happened, but this specific car that I just drove will be at the Cleveland Auto Show. We're going to get it cleaned up and everything, get the car ready to go. But yeah, well, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Hopefully it was enough to kind of whet your taste buds. What we always talk about, and Justin and I, who have other videos, is you need to drive the car yourself. I don't think there's anything I'm going to say or do that's going to make the car, you know, you're going to say, hey, I can tell exactly how that car drives and feels from looking at it. And who knows, you might be someone who is disappointed by it. I'm someone who, obviously this car has a lot more power than the regular one. So and it feels a lot different too in how it accelerates with that turbo. Anytime you have a turbo, it just has that little bit more extra kick. But again, phenomenal car. Hopefully you enjoyed the driving experience. And thank you again for tuning in and watching. Any other questions or any other comments that everyone has, feel free to leave them and we'll try to address them. Have a good one.
Thank you so much, as always, for watching. Hopefully that video helped you decide whether or not the Type S MDX is the right MDX for you. Now, obviously, what it comes down to is the vehicle right for you? And you have to decide that for yourself. So obviously, we always recommend stopping in, checking it out, taking one for a spin yourself. I enjoyed the drive. I thought it was a great vehicle to drive. It was fast. It was fun for a 7-passenger SUV. But again, thank you so much, as always, for stopping in. Like and subscribe, and we look forward to seeing you guys in the future. Give me 1 second. I gotta do a quick video. Just all I'm doing is saying hi, and that's it. It takes like 2 seconds.